What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's main event in Commerce, California between Serhii Bohachuk and Michael Fox. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? And right now, go to the bottom of your screen, find the bell notification button, hit that so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. So guys, all week we've been traveling the world documenting these fight cards. We covered the fight card in Sydney. I was actually ringside to Goodman versus Vaca. If you've been paying attention to the channel, we featured what's going down in heavyweight division, the rematch between David Allen and Johnny Fisher in London. We already covered the card in Long Beach, California, being headlined by Fernando Vargas Jr. And finally, our journey stops at Commerce with the return of Serhii Bohachuk. Guys, I've been asked all week about Bohachuk. A lot of you guys forgot that he fought Ishmael Davis and go straight to the Virgil Ortiz fight, and you're asking for my opinion on that outcome. We covered that fight. I gave you my prediction of Virgil versus Bohachuk, and I also gave you the rundown afterwards. I've linked that video in this one. So if you want to hear my opinion on how I judged it, just watch the video. Also, guys, in the comment section below, before we continue, how did you judge it? Did you think Bohachuk got the short end of the stick, even though he knocked down Virgil multiple times but lost the decision? Or do you think that Virgil won more rounds and he was the rightful winner? Anyway, moving forward in this video, we're going to go over both careers of Bohachuk and Michael Fox. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business, and stay tuned to the end of the video because I'll be giving you my prediction. We'll be going over those Las Vegas odds, and I'll be telling you where to put your money. In boxing, guys, we know the importance of having a good promoter, a good manager, people supporting you, somebody backing your career. And I'm not knocking Bohachuk, but in my opinion, I just feel that maybe somebody is missing the boat a bit on his career. He seems to me at 154 to be the odd man out. This guy, 96% career knockout to win ratio. The Ukrainian is massive in his country, and I understand if other fighters at 54 don't want to fight him. But Turkey, wherever you are, bring the money to this kid. He fought in Riyadh before. We just saw him against Ishmael Davies, 6-round stoppage. People want to see him fight Virgil again, but Virgil seemingly has moved on to bigger and better things. He looked great against Madrimov, so in Virgil's eyes, it would only make sense to keep pushing forward. For Bohachuk, it's kind of like he's a top 5 fighter in the world. If you ask me, he's a top 5. He's ranked in the top 5. Michael Fox is a top 200 guy. But, you know, in this game, you got to just beat whoever they put in front of you. So right now, I want to remind everybody what's at stake this Saturday in California. All right, guys, since December 21st, 2024, Bohachuk has been preparing for his next fight, which will take place this weekend. His record stands as a testament to his physical dominance in the ring, earning him recognition and rankings across multiple boxing organizations. Commerce Casino, LA is the location, and his opponent will be Michael Fox, who has a height advantage over him by 4 inches and a reach advantage. Fox, known as the Professor, made his pro debut in 2014. Bohachuk turned pro in 2017. He is a proud face of Ukraine and has shown the world what resilience looks like with every fight. On August 10, 2024 in Las Vegas, Bohachuk knocked down Ortiz in rounds 1 and round 8. At the end of the fight, Ortiz carried the WBC interim title via majority decision with scores of 114 to 112, 114 to 112, and 113 to 113, respectively. On the records of Bohachuk's last 5 fights, Ortiz is the only opponent he has lost to. After Ortiz, he won against Ishmael Davis in the 6th round at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. Just before facing Ortiz, he faced Brian Mendoza, whom he won via UD at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on March 20th, 2024. Before that, Bohachuk knocked out Patrick Alate in the 1st round at Chumash Casino in San Ynez. So guys, you have to think that a stay busy fight, you want to stay active. This guy's fought in arenas in Vegas, he's fought in arenas in Saudi Arabia, now he's fighting the casino in LA against a guy that, you know what, it probably would be tough to get up for. And this is no offense to Michael Fox. He is a tall, long, rangy southpaw. He will present some issues for Bohachuk with that reach. So I'm not writing Michael Fox off. He's a professional. He only has a handful of losses. He doesn't have pop on his shots. He's going to want to outpoint you. He's going to want to outthink you. He's going to want to outslick you. Unfortunately for him, he's going against a blender type of guy, which I call Bohachuk. Similar to Ortiz. Piece of meat put in the blender, you get chopped up, and that's what you're getting for Bohachuk. And the second Serhii feels that you are wilting or that you are intimidated by taking a step forward, he's going to come after you. He's one of my favorite styles in the whole sport. Knockout to win ratio, astronomical. His grit to win fights, astronomical. The game plan can be a bit predictable, but when you have power like him and that style like him and the cardio that he has, he is tough to beat. The Brandon Adams knockout makes you scratch your head a bit, but Brandon Adams is a dog, and that fight was a while ago. The Virgil Ortiz fight, in my opinion, could have gone either way. I did score it round by round for Virgil, so I said it wasn't a robbery, but damn, Bohachuk looked good. And he is a nightmare for anybody at 54. I cannot say that enough. Whenever he fights, I tune in. Right now, let's take a closer look at his opponent, Michael Fox, and see what he's been up to. Guys, Michael Fox is 24-4 with 5 knockouts. Out of 2,506 welterweights in the world, that's 147. Remember, this fight's at 54. He's ranked 194 in that weight class, so he's moving up to 54. He carries in the ring a 20% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Professor, and the 29-year-old American is a southpaw, standing at 6'3" with an 81-inch reach. We last saw him fight Yeno Alvarez, 3-5 UD in the 6th. Donald Ward, 18-12 UD in the 8th. Mean Machine, 22-2, lost a decision in the 10th. Maestre, 3-0, lost a decision in the 12th. Santa Maria, 10-1, lost a decision in the 10th. So as you can see, he has 4 losses. He was coming off 3 losses in a row, and then he got one back. And what that does to the psyche of a fighter, 3 losses in a row, especially when you were undefeated the entire career, when you take those steps up, it does something to you. So he did get a win back. It is a tough task to come back, though, in your last 5 fights after you lost 3 and get paired up against the Ukraine's Serhii Bohachuk. So we will know right off the bat what type of fight this will be, what type of fight Fox will bring to Bohachuk. He put his hand up for a reason. Kudos to him. The kid is fearless. He thinks that he has the skills to circle away from that power and do enough and steal rounds and win a decision. So if you're fans of Michael Fox, that's what you should expect. Right now, let's look at his opponent, the Ukraine's Serhii Bohachuk. Guys, Bohachuk's 25-2 with 24 knockouts. Out of 2,250 super welterweights in the world, 154 pounds, he's ranked number 5. He has a career 115 pro rounds fought. His adoring fans know him as El Flaco, and he carries in the ring a 96% knockout to win ratio. An orthodox fighter standing at 6 feet tall with a 73-inch reach. He last fought Ishmael Davis, 13-1, stopped him in the 6th. Virgil Ortiz, 21-0, he lost a majority decision in the 12th. Mendoza, 22-3, UD in the 12th. Alate, 42-4, stopped him in the 1st. Gallimore, 22-6, stopped him in the 6th. Guys, if you've never seen Serhii Bohachuk fight, tune into this one. I've been told that this fight is going to be streaming on UFC Fight Pass. If you like action, if you like a guy who is coming at you to finish you, this is your guy. In terms of his sort of arsenal, and I don't want to take heat for this, but he reminds me of a personal friend of mine that I grew up watching, training with, who became a world champion with a similar punch arsenal, is Kelly Pavlik. Pavlik became one of the greatest middleweights of all time, finished his career 40-2 with 34 knockouts, pretty much just throwing his jab and his cross with that pressure forward style, flat-footed, but Pavlik the Ghost was a knockout artist. Bohachuk doesn't have the same sort of power. He uses his punches very similar to how Pavlik would use his, and he also uses the footwork in terms of staying on that linear path, front to back, similar to Pavlik as well. I see some parallels to his game, and maybe that's why I like him. But Bohachuk is fun to watch. He's all action. He's going to be there to get hit, but more often than not, he's the one who ends up on top of those exchanges. When I put these guys side by side, world-class experience, Bohachuk. Now, Fox is going to have the physical advantages, the height advantage, the reach advantage. We'll see how Bohachuk deals with that southpaw style. The game plan, like I said, you got to think Fox's whole fight camp was to circle away from Bohachuk's right hand. Him being a southpaw, he's going to have to remember to circle right and not left, because the minute he circles his left, he's walking straight into Bohachuk's right hand. And what Bohachuk is going to want to do is catch him with that, pair with the jab, and walk him onto that backhand. So we'll see how quick or how long it takes Bohachuk to do it, or how quick or how long Michael Fox could avoid that to taking place. So right now, I want to take a closer look at the Las Vegas odds, see where the money's at. All right, guys, we're going to go over the money line and the method of victory. If you guys missed my live stream where I did all of my parlays for the week, I gave you my locks of the week, I'll have that tagged in this video as well. Just go to the channel. You'll see it under playlists. Right now on the money line, Bohachuk is $1.06, meaning if you put 100 on him, you only get $6 in return. The draw's 26 to 1. Michael Fox is a $12.50. 100 on him gets you your money back plus 1,250. You could put this fight on a nice parlay. There's a lot of fights over the week that are $6s, $9s happening in the UK, happening on this card, and happening in Long Beach, California that could fatten your parlay up a bit. If you want to add a little bit more juice to this, the bet that I like, method of victory, and I talked about this, $1.22 Bohachuk to stop Fox with my prediction. I'm fairly confident it's going to be Serhii Bohachuk business as usual. I love the $1.22 stoppage. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Early to mid rounds. This is a tough matchup for Michael Fox. I don't think Serhii Bohachuk is going to show him any mercy, and I don't think Fox has ever been in there with a killer like Bohachuk. Right now, guys, you don't have to agree with me. In the comment section below, how do you see this one playing out? Let's get froggy. Whoever you think is going to win, tell me how they win, decision or stoppage. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight in the UK at middleweight between Kieran Conway and Jerome Warburton. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Also, like this video and go down to the bottom of your screen right now. Hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Let's get into this. All right, guys, this video takes us to the UK once again. This is the co-main feature on the Johnny Fisher versus Davey Allen 2 rematch in London, England. This is a British middleweight title fight between Kieran Conway, who's ranked in the top 50 in the world at 160 pounds, and the Welshman, Jerome Warburton. So in today's video, we're going to remind everybody about who these fighters are. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business, what they've been up to. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video because that's where I'll be going over the Las Vegas odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction on where to put your money so you can make the most of it. All right, guys, during my film study of Jerome Warburton, what you're going to get with this fighter is he is a domestic UK fighter. He's a Welsh fighter. He's a southpaw. The best way to describe him is, in my opinion, antsy. He pressures forward. He doesn't really sit down on a lot of his shots, and he uses perpetual movement to almost try to confuse his opponent. What I would also say about him is he moves around a lot, and sometimes he could be guilty of moving too much and not doing enough efficient work. This will by far be the biggest step up in opponents. This will give him an opportunity, though, to see where he is in the pecking order in the UK. Neither guy really has one punch knockout power, and Warburton's going to try to use his aggression and his awkward, tricky style to confuse his opponent, Kieran Conway. With Conway, he's a matchroom fighter. You know he's going to have an all-around sound technical game. Once again, he doesn't have one-punch knockout power. He stepped up a couple times in his career and didn't quite get the job done. He has a handful of losses. 2 of those losses came from Suleiman Sissoko, and we know he's a dog, as well as the American Ammo Williams. So both times he stepped up, he fell a little bit short. We should also remember at 160 pounds, this division's wide open. Granted, you have champions like Janibek Alimhanaleh, Carlos Ademas, Chris Landy Lara. My point is, the division isn't really crawling with superstars, so in a way it's wide open, and anyone at 160 pounds could put their name on the top of the division with electrifying performance. That's what makes this fight interesting. Regarding the outcome of this fight, we know that it's supposed to go a certain way, but before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about what Jerome Warburton has been up to in his career. Guys, Jerome Warburton is 15-1 with 2 draws. he has 2 knockouts. He carries in the ring a 13% career knockout to win ratio. Out of 2,030 middleweights in the world, he's ranked number 202, and out of 122 in the UK, he's ranked 22. His adoring fans know him as the Bread Maker. 29-year-old is a southpaw. We last saw him fight Octavian Grilli, 8-72, points decision in the 6th. Ryan Kelly, 19-4, draw in the 10th. Sutton, 16-0, split draw in the 10th. Sharp, 8-119, points decision in the 8th. Gennady Krzyzewski, 0-46, stopped him in the 4th. So guys, all you have to do is go to Warburton's box rec. You heard some of the records I just read to you. He's faced a lot of guys with some interesting records. This will be by far his biggest opportunity to see where he's at in his career. Also, his biggest test. He's a southpaw fighter. He's going to pressure forward. Like I said, his style is kind of antsy. It's almost like an anxiety-driven style. He's always moving, but he's never sitting on anything. And sometimes fighters with this style, they're almost doing too much. What I would like to see him be a little bit more patient and set things up, but that's just not how he goes about his business. When he's on, he's tricky. When you watch his film tape, he's always in his opponent's face. He doesn't really give his opponent too much time to think about it. Downside to that style is he opens himself up a lot to get countered, and we'll see what happens in this matchup. Let's take a look at his opponent, Kieran Conway. Guys, Conway is 22-3-1. He has 6 knockouts. Out of 2,027 middleweights in the world, he's ranked number 21, and out of 122 in the UK, he is number 3. He carries in the ring a 27% career knockout to win ratio, and his adoring fans know him as 2 class. The British fighter is 29 years old. He's an orthodox fighter standing at 5'11", residing in Northampton, Northamptonshire, United Kingdom. We last saw him fight Ryan Kelly, 19-4, split decision in the 12th. Yilgazzi, 19-1, stopped him in the 7th. Udofia, 18-1, stopped him in the 6th. Silva, 22-14, points decision in the 8th. Amma Williams, 11-0, lost to UD in the 10th. So with Kieran Conway, like I said, he's an all-around sound fighter. He does a lot of things really well. Doesn't have a lot of pop in his punches, but he has good footwork, good punch placement, good punch selection. The thing is about his gears is we really haven't seen him step up at that world-class level. They always say world-class fighters have 3 gears. Right now out of Conway, we're still kind of looking for that. He's going to rely on his ring experience. We talked about the Amma Williams fight, fell short. The Suleiman Sissoko fight fell short. But you know he feels that he took a lot of positives out of those fights, even though on the records they came up short as losses. When I look at these fighters side by side, you're going to have a traditional orthodox being Conway versus the southpaw being Warburton. It's going to be a control measure of that front foot. Conway's going to want to use that aggression against Warburton. You got to give the height, the reach, all the length, all the physicality attributes to Conway. The X factor with Warburton is that tricky style. Is he going to be able to use it to his advantage? Is he going to be able to confuse Conway? And more importantly, will Warburton be able to pick up on some of the flaws in Conway's game and make Conway pay? From what I've seen on the film study, that's pretty much going to be the narrative. Right now, I want to take a closer look at the Las Vegas odds. Before we get there, they had a face-off this week in the UK, so let's look at their face-off right now and see if we can see anything in that. Alright guys, down here in Australia, the betting app I use is called Sportsbet. Wherever you are in the world, let's get those betting apps out. We're going to look at the money lines. Guys, the method of victory bets haven't opened yet up for me, so when they do, I'm going to be doing a YouTube live on my channel Friday morning, 11 a.m. here in Australia. It'll be Thursday evening in America. So there we'll be going over our method of victory bets. We'll also be going over the other fights on this card, including the Johnny Fisher fight, also in America, Serhii Bohachuk, and that card as well. Alright guys, currently on the money line, Kieran Conway is $1.14, meaning you put $100 on him to win, you get your money back plus 14 bucks. The draw is 19-1. Jerome Warburton is a $6.50, meaning you put 100 on him to win, you get your money back plus $5.50. Guys, this is an example of a fight for me that should be a showcase fight for Kieran Conway. I fully expect Conway's class, his experience, and his overall skill set to just be too much for Jerome Warburton. On paper, I don't see anything that Warburton could do to win this fight, let alone even hurt Kieran Conway. I fully expect Conway to win this fight. In the comments section below, you don't have to agree with me. How do you guys see this fight going? Who's going to win the British middleweight title? Will it be Conway or will it be Warburton? What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny. In today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's rematch at heavyweight in London, England, between Johnny Fisher and David Allen. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? And right now, go down to the bottom of your screen and hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. All right, guys, one of my favorite things to do on the channel is to cover rematches. Also, I love to cover heavyweight fights, and with this feature, we get both of them. It goes down in London. We have the Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher, taking on the White Rhino, David Allen. Guys, in the first fight, it happened in Riyadh. There was controversy. We saw for the first time ever, Fisher hit the canvas in the 5th round. The fight went the distance, and Johnny won a close split decision. Afterwards, people were saying he was robbed regarding David Allen. They thought that the White Rhino did enough to get the victory. So this weekend, we get to see the heavyweight titans run it back. Johnny Fisher is an exciting young heavyweight, not just in the UK, but his star is rising. He's a social media fan favorite, both with himself and his father. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go on Instagram and just follow Johnny Fisher and his dad. You'll understand what I mean by Bosch, if you're unaware what that means. The White Rhino, they call him the Doncaster de la Hoya. David Allen has 2 nicknames. So the British boxing fans, for you Americans, all you have to know, you watched Eubanks Jr. versus Ben. You saw that stadium, Tottenham Hotspur, going crazy. This isn't going to be as big in terms of capacity, but it's going to be equally as electric. This is the headliner, and a lot of true blue fight fans are stoked to see what happens. That first match was back and forth. What we really got to see was the heart of a young Johnny Fisher. They call him the Romford Bull, A, because he's a beast, but B, if you haven't seen that fight, go to it, watch the 5th round, watch what happened when he got dropped for the first time, watch what he did in the seconds afterwards. As soon as he gets counted up, he puts his guard up and walks David Allen down with his head just like this and almost got dropped again. He was almost out on his feet. It's insane that he was able to recover, but he did, and this is why his fans love him, because he's resilient and gritty, and he showed a lot. Sometimes in boxing, when you're undefeated, you've never been tested, your fan base, the boxing community, really doesn't know what you're made of until you get tested, and we saw Fisher get tested. David Allen's been in there with some of the best in his era, some of the best in his generation. He's been dropped, stopped, beaten up before, but each time he's come back, and he still thinks in his mid-30s that he can become a world champion. He has power in both hands. That's what makes this exciting for fight fans. Right now, I want to take a closer look to see what's at stake this weekend in Essex. Guys, boxing has a unique way of telling stories. It's not just about punches thrown or hands raised in victory. It's about the journeys, the dreams on the line, and the raw will of 2 men stepping into the ring with more than a belt at stake. This Saturday, May 17th at London's Copper Box Arena, Johnny Fisher and David Allen will square off once again in a rematch that promises fireworks, and this time, a result that leaves no room for doubt. In their first fight back in December, it ended in controversy. Fisher, the undefeated 26-year-old rising heavyweight, overcame a knockdown in the 5th round and emerged with a razor-thin split decision win. 2 judges scored at 95-94 for Fisher, while the third gave Allen the nod at 96-93. It was a grueling back-and-forth battle that left fans and pundits alike debating whether the right man had his hand raised. For Allen, 33, that night in Saudi Arabia was a bitter pill to swallow. Known for his toughness and gritty style, the veteran felt he had done enough to walk away with the WBA Intercontinental title. The judges disagreed, and now Allen enters the rematch with something to prove and a chance at redemption. Fisher, meanwhile, understands the weight this bout carries. His win over Allen preserved his undefeated record and earned him the title, but also raised questions about how he handles pressure against experienced opposition. On Saturday, he's not just defending a belt, he's aiming to silence the doubters and deliver a definitive performance that leaves no question marks. With pride, redemption, and championship gold on the line, Fisher vs. Allen 2 is more than a rematch. It's a fight for clarity, closure, and legacy. Let's go! This is one of those fights that fight fans don't really need to know anything about each one of these guys to get excited about this matchup. So right now, I want to take a closer look at the career of David Allen and see what he's been up to. Guys, David Allen is 23-7-2 with 18 knockouts. Out of 1,568 heavyweights in the world, he's ranked 128. Out of 59 in the UK, he is number 16. He has a career 139 pro rounds fought, and he brings into the ring a 78% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the White Rhino, and the 33-year-old Brit is a 6'3" orthodox fighter with a 75-inch reach. He resides in Conisbrough, Yorkshire, United Kingdom. We last saw him fight Johnny Fisher 12-0, lost a split in the 10th. Buchetta 8-14, points decision in the 4th. Darnell 2-25, points decision in the 4th. Fraser Clark 7-0, got stopped in the 6th. Michael Bassett 2-8, stopped him in the 1st. Going into the first fight, the knock on Dave Allen was that this guy was a gritty heavyweight, but he had been stopped multiple times, and his opponents up until the first fight weren't that good. He was coming off that stoppage loss to Fraser Clark, and he was taking a couple rebound fights. So a lot of people and pundits didn't know what to expect from Allen. A lot of people were saying he was going to get stopped early. But it's why the heavyweight division is so interesting and exciting, especially for veterans, because we know with that division, the last thing to leave with boxers is their power. So you see a lot of older fighters in that heavyweight division become world champions at a later age than you see in the lighter divisions. And with this, Dave Allen still thinks that he has the pedigree to do so. He's been in there with some of his era's best fighters, like I said, and every time he gets to that top tier, he doesn't always come out on top. But you saw what he's made of in the first fight with Fisher. When I think about what he's going to try to do, probably be a little bit more composed, but maybe not. The punch that he was finding home for was that overhand right. It was almost like a bolo punch, but the punch that dropped Fisher was more of a seasoned veteran move. It was after a break, and Fisher wasn't being as defensively responsible and was kind of loose in his guard, and that's where Allen found a home for his combo and dropped him. So that was something that I picked up on right off the bat, where a lot of the little breaks, a lot of the punching behind the head, a lot of the clinch work, you saw David Allen's pedigree and his experience showcasing winning the smaller fights within the fights in the first one. But even that wasn't enough to get him a victory on the judges' scorecards. We'll see what happens in the rematch. Right now, let's take a closer look at the Romford Bull and see what he's been up to. Guys, Johnny Fisher's 13-0 with 11 knockouts. Out of 1,568 heavyweights in the world, he's ranked number 56. Out of 59 in the UK, he is number 14. He has a career pro rounds of 41. He carries in the ring an 85% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as the Romford Bull. The 26-year-old Brit is a 6'4" orthodox fighter. We last saw him fight David Allen 23-6, won a split in the 10th. Babbage 12-1, stopped him in the 1st. Bays is 10-1, stopped him in the 1st. Armstrong 5-1, stopped him in the 7th. So guys, going into that first fight, the knock on Fisher was, will he be able to deal with this big step up in competition? He was used to knocking guys out real early, high knockout to win ratio, doesn't have a lot of pro rounds. So a lot of questions were answered, especially when we saw in that first fight in the 5th round, him getting dropped for the first time and almost stopped. We got to see what he was made of. We got to see his spirit. And this is why you fight fans who might not have ever seen him fight, tune in this weekend. You'll also hear a cheering section, crazed fans. Go to his social media like I already talked about. There's a lot of excitement about this guy, and there's a lot of things to be excited about when you're talking about Johnny Fisher. When I look at these guys side by side, you got to give the experience to the veteran David Allen. You got to give the psychological one up, though, to Fisher because he won the first fight. But then again, do you really? Because he got dropped in the first fight. So a lot of things are 50-50 in my eyes. Everything from what we see on paper to the tail of the tape. Everything what we saw even in the last fight, 50-50. One guy wins the fight, but the guy who won got dropped. So the guy who lost the fight still thinks that he won. So you never know what each guy is thinking right now going into this rematch. What we can do as pundits and analysts trying to break this down, let's take a look at what happened today at the press conference when they met face to face and see if we can see anything in their demeanors.
Versus Dave Allen 2, live only on the Zone. Fisher.
All right, guys, right now I want to take a closer look at the Las Vegas odds before giving you guys my prediction. Remember, I'm going to just go over my money line prediction here. Tomorrow on my channel, I'll be doing a live stream, which I'll go over method of victory, prop bets, and locks of the week, covering this card, the card in California as well with Serhii Bohachuk. So I use an app down here called Sportsbet. Wherever you are in the world, let's pull our book out and see what our money line looks like. All right, guys, currently on the money line, Johnny Fisher's $1.41, meaning you put $100 on him, you get 41 bucks back. The draw is 17-1. David Allen is a 320, meaning you take him to win on the money line, you put 100 on him, you get your money back plus 220. Guys, the odds aren't quite at a 50-50. Even me sitting here with my big screen in the background, having just watched the first fight and about to give you my prediction, I can honestly say I'm still 50-50. This is a close fight. It's an intriguing fight, and these are going to be two exciting heavyweights. This isn't going to be a jab and grab festival. This is going to be two big guys trying to knock each other out. Where I'm going to lean on, though, in this fight, they're heavyweights. We know what happened in the first meeting. I'm going to lean on the youth, the energy, the experience, and that crowd. I'm siding with the Romford Bull, Johnny Fisher. I think that he's going to be too much. I think where he is in his pedigree, that learning experience, everything he took from those little clinch techniques that he was losing in the first fight, the fight within the fight that he was losing in the first fight, why he got dropped, he lost a little bit of mental focus. I think he's going to tie all of that up. I'm fully expecting to see an even sharper, an even smarter, and an even more dangerous Johnny Fisher. This is not an echo chamber. You do not have to agree with me. In the comment section below right now, let me know who you're putting your money on. Also, what's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight at 154 pounds in Long Beach, California, between Fernando Vargas Jr. and Gonzalo Coria.
Right to the body with a left hand against Coria.
Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? My YouTube analytics are telling me that 75% of you who watch my content haven't done this yet. Also, could you please like the video, as well as go down to the bottom of your screen, see that little bell notification button, hit that so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. All right, guys, once again, we have a busy week of boxing. It might not be filled with blockbuster marquee world championship names, but there are some great fights taking place all across the globe. On the channel, we already covered the card that took place in Sydney, Australia between Goodman and Vaca. We covered so far some fights happening in the UK, the rematch between Johnny Fisher and David Allen. There's two fight cards going on in the Los Angeles area, one in Commerce with Serhii Bohachuk, but this card is going down in my old hometown of Long Beach, California, between the son of a Mexican legend, Fernando Vargas Jr., and his Argentinian opponent, Gonzalo Coria. Guys, this is going to be a classic matchup of a trajectory fight. I talk about it on the channel all the time. Just imagine when you were younger, playing around in the neighborhood and you find a body of water. Maybe it's a pond, maybe it's a lake. You don't know how deep that water is, so you get a stick and you would kind of tap the water to see how deep it is before you jump in. That's what this fight is for Team Vargas Jr. With his opponent, the Argentinian, he's not a perfect record guy. He's one of these guys who floats back and forth between 160 pounds and 154 pounds. What he does have is some world-class experience. He has 7 losses. He's been stopped 2 times. Both of those stoppages are by world champion caliber fighters. One who is a world champion at 160, Janibek Alimhanaleh, and then a former world champion in Jaime Munguia. So with Fernando Vargas Jr.'s team himself, they're going to test to see where he really is at 28 years old, what that knockout to win ratio really consists of, and will his power be able to hold up against a guy who's been in there with some of the best fighters in the world. So in this video, we're going to break down both guys. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about their career, how they go about their business, what to expect. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video because I'll be giving you my prediction and we'll be going over those Las Vegas odds and telling you where to put your money. Guys, whenever you have a fighter with the last name Vargas, you know eyes are going to tune in. The Vargas dynasty, people are really stoked on these sons of the boxing legend, the brother Emilio Amato, and this is the oldest brother, Fernando Jr. He's known for his power. He's known for his ability to shut the lights out with his opponents. Some of the things about this guy with his style, he's a southpaw. By no means is Fernando Vargas Jr. a fine-tuned product. He's not a finished product, so just keep that in mind. And it's something that I tell you guys all the time on my channel is not every boxer, even boxers who might be world champions, are finished products. They are learning on the go, and this is why the beauty of the sport, it's why we love it, because with each fight, you take things with you and you want to add it to your arsenal to get better with each time. And with each time we see Fernando Vargas Jr. fight, we see him adding elements to his game. He's going to go up against a tricky southpaw, a guy who's been in there with some of the best in the world, a guy who's going to have way more ring experience, a guy who's probably going to be bigger than him physically considering he's fought at the bigger weight classes, and by no means is an Argentinian fighter thinking that he's coming in here to lose. So right now I want to take a closer look at what's at stake this weekend in Long Beach, California. Guys, Fernando Vargas Jr. will face Gonzalo Coria on Saturday, May 17th at Thunder Studios in Long Beach, California. The 10-round bout will headline a Marv Nations promotions card that will stream live on DAZN. The 28-year-old Vargas, 16-0 with 14 knockouts, who lives and trains in Vegas, last fought on December 14th, defeating Jesus Gonzalez by technical decision in the 5th. The fight also took place at Thunder Studios. The decision snapped a string of 3 consecutive knockout wins for Vargas. Gaston Coria, 23-7 with 9 knockouts, who was originally from Villa Mercedes, Argentina, and now lives in Los Angeles, also fought on the December 15th card, knocking out unbeaten Raul Lizarraga in the 7th round. The 28-year-old has won 5 of his last 7 fights. So guys, both men are going to be able to test themselves. You're going to have the Argentinian fighter who is going to want to continue the momentum that he has. Won 5 of his last 7, coming off a knockout victory, and by no means does he think Fernando Vargas Jr. is the guy that Vargas Jr. thinks he is. So right now, let's take a closer look at the Argentinian's career and see what he's been up to. Guys, Gonzalo Coria is 23-7 with 9 knockouts. Out of 2,250 fighters in the world at 154 pounds, he's ranked number 83rd. He has a career 175 pro rounds fought, and he carries into the ring a 39% career knockout to win ratio. The Argentinian fighter's a 28-year-old southpaw staying at 5'11" with a 71-inch reach. He comes from Villa Mercedes, San Luis, Argentina. We last saw him fight Raul Lizarraga, 14-0, knockout in the 7th. Alan Kagaev, 18-0, lost a decision in the 8th. Alvarenga, 5-27, won via DQ in the 6th. Jaime Munguia, 4-0, he got knocked out in the 3rd. Pucheta, 16-5, won a split decision in the 10th. So this is a guy who's had a mixed bag throughout his career. Lose one, win some, get finished, win by knockout. So at 28 years old, he's just now entering his physical prime. The attributes that he's going to lean on is definitely going to be that ring experience, his toughness. He knows he doesn't have a perfect record. So believe it or not, a lot of fighters who've either been stopped before, who aren't undefeated, will go into their future opponents taking that as lessons learned, knowing that they're tough and that they could get back up off the canvas and that they could use those lessons learned through defeat to carry them to upcoming victories. Right now, let's take a closer look at his undefeated opponent, rising prospect Fernando Vargas Jr. Guys, Vargas Jr. is 16-0 with 14 knockouts out of 2,250 fighters in the world at 154 pounds. He's ranked number 72. He has a career 41 pro rounds fought, and he carries into the ring an 88% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as El Feroz, and the 28-year-old American is a southpaw, staying at 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. He resides in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. We last saw him fight Jesus Gonzalez, 7-2, technical decision in the 5th. Cardones, 14-4, stopped him in the 1st. Solomon, 29-6, stopped him in the 4th. Buelvis, 24-17, stopped him in the 2nd. Flores, 26-28, won a unanimous decision in the 6th. Like I said when I started this about Vargas Jr., he's not a finished product. He's not well polished anywhere. So the benefit in that is he has room to improve, especially on the defensive side. As a southpaw, he's always looking for the knockout. His lead hook, which is his right hook from the southpaw stance, is a really nice punch. He's going to come forward. I'd like to see him in this fight against Coria having added a little bit more head movement, having added a little bit more balance in his feet, and be a little bit more patient. This guy is a finisher, so sometimes he rushes his work and it makes everything sometimes look a bit convoluted. So it's going to be interesting to see this version of Fernando Vargas Jr. against Coria. Both guys are going to have that southpaw versus southpaw, so it's going to be a battle of the front foot. Who could walk the other onto shots? Who could lead with their front foot and land their backhand? That's going to be a narrative of the fight. Vargas Jr. is going to want to land his lead hook, and I think Coria's best shot is actually his backhand. So that's something to look for. When I look at these guys side by side, when you think about the star power, the energy, the buzz, all of that is on Vargas Jr. But none of that really means anything when you get into the ring. So when you think about ring experience, what you've been through, how you overcome adversity, who you've been in there with, all of that sides with the Argentinian fighter Coria. We know how tough these Argentinian fighters are. They're tough to get out of. The kid's only been stopped twice, and that's against Alhamdulillah and Munguia. So that's not something to keep your head down about. That's something to say, hey, I stood there toe-to-toe with these guys, and I'm still here. He's definitely going to bring that as a confidence mechanism into this fight. Right now, I'm going to look at the Las Vegas odds. I want to see where everybody's putting their money. Guys, today on my live stream, if you're catching this within a few hours of this coming out, I'm going live to go over all of the fights throughout this week. The fights that are taking place in both cards in Cali and the fights in the UK. That's where I'll be giving my method of victory, my prop, and my lock of the week bets. Right now, we're just going to go over the money line. All right, guys, down here in Australia, my book is called Sports Bets. So wherever you are in the world, let's get those betting apps out and let's look at this money line real quick. Okay, and currently Vargas Jr. is the favorite. He's $1.07, meaning you put $100 on Vargas to win, you get your money back plus $7. The draw's 26-1. Gonzalo Coria is a 10-1 dog, meaning 100 on him to win, gets you your money back plus $900. Like I said, whenever you have the last name Vargas on a card, there's going to be excitement, there's going to be juice to it. He's the big betting favorite. Is this fight this wide regarding skill set? I don't think it is. 9-1 underdog for Coria. When you look at his career, his resume, what he's been up to, he's a solid fighter. He doesn't do anything exceptionally well, but the thing is, he doesn't do anything exceptionally bad. When you think about Vargas, the one thing he does really well is his power. The one thing that he lacks, in my opinion, are the holes in his defensive game. So he will be there to get hit. But stylistically, I don't think Coria has the power to make Vargas Jr. pay, and vice versa. I think Vargas Jr. has the power to get Coria's respect early and then dictate the pace. My prediction on this fight, I'm going with Fernando Vargas Jr. to continue his undefeated trajectory. Guys, this is not an echo chamber. In the comment section below, let me know who you like in this fight.